and welcome to another episode of 4Tims podcast. You join us on Monday after the weekend's fixtures. We're just going to have a chat about Celtic's reasonably comfortable 2-0 win against St Johnstone at Celtic Park. Danny, I'll start with yourself. It was, as they all are, must-win games. Dominated the game. They didn't really offer much apart from booting fuck-outers, but we kind of knew that was going to happen. Debut goal for Giamakis, another really good penalty for Juranovic.
It was a good performance. You know, it's the third straight 2-0 win, third straight clean sheet, and we're making a habit of winning these games without much fuss. You know what I mean? Like early season, you're hammering teams 6-0, 5-0. People, 6 was par for the course for a while. People, you only beat people 2-0, and people say, "Oh, he's a shite this week." But if we make a habit out of winning 2-0 every week, we're doing well for ourselves. And the Delta de Natale popping up with a goal in his first starts, really, really good. We've all seen what he can do against Ferencvaros. We're really impressed. And I was actually quite happy for him. When somebody scores, you're happy for them. I was more happy for him than anybody else. So, and Juranovic, good to have him back going again. He's a very capable player. Saturday was just ticking along nicely.
Absolutely, and I've said this before, I said it at Kyogo, when we sign strikers, sometimes it can take a while to get going or even make any impact. Kyogo's obviously been outstanding, and then I think Giamakis, I don't know exactly how you pronounce his name, but I don't want to keep saying Greek guy. He takes his goal well, and at that time, the game wasn't great, the performance wasn't great, with a lot of possession, but create much. Ralston does well, and it's a good enough finish. Dan, I'll come to you. I wasn't a big fan of Kyogo starting out wide. I don't think he's in the game enough when he's out there. I can understand he wanted to rest Abada and we wanted to give Giamakis a chance, but for me, Kyogo always needs to be down the middle. I don't think he should play out wide. I don't think he's utilised, or I don't think he's productive out there.
Oh no, you're completely right, Tony. For me now, the way you go if you're Celtic is that you either play Kyogo through the middle or you don't play him, because much like the game at Ibrox, when he was forced out wide to accommodate Edward, like he was just completely ineffectual, and like it's no slight on Kyogo, he still gives his all. You can see him still try to create things, but he's compared to what he's like in the middle, he's just so ineffective out on either side. Like it's just not his game, and I think I completely understand why Ange wanted to start Giacomakis, and obviously it paid dividends with him getting his first goal, and it'll do him the world of good. But for me, even if it came at the expense that Kyogo sat on the bench for 60 minutes, like I'd have rather had that than like have him out wide, because as I say, I just think he's completely ineffectual. So I think either you find a system where you can play two strikers if you want to play Giacomakis and Kyogo in the same team, or you just choose between the two, and if that means either one of them has to sort of like sit on the bench for a longer period, then so be it. That's just the way it's going to have to be if you want to get the most out of these players, especially you see, I thought Mikey Johnson was really good when he came off the bench again on Saturday, and like I think it would the team would have had a lot more natural balance if you had like St Johnstone out wide and Jota on the other side. Like I think having more natural wingers is more suited to this sort of philosophy and style of play that Ange is implementing in the team. So I thought it was a generally like it's exactly what we were missing last season. Like I think we drew 1 each with St Johnstone last December maybe, and like these were the type of games that we were just dropping points on every week. And actually, like the longer the game went on, I was sort of getting a bit edgy because we only had the 1-goal lead, and you were sort of hanging off. They get a chance, then it could sort of get them away back into the game. But I thought Celtic handled it pretty well. It was pretty bog standard. He obviously had fucking Nick Walsh refereeing. Yet again, another shambolic performance. Like there was a point in the second half when about 5 St Johnstone players committed the same foul on Tom Rogic when he turned and got away from him, and only one of them got booked, and it was the first one that made the foul as well. So what he seen in the other challenges after that he thought didn't deserve bookings bewildered me, and I thought it couldn't get any worse until Cameron Carter-Vickers was fouled, and then while he was on the deck, you've got that fucking kid on hard, man, Chris Kane, having 2 or 3 slide digs at him on the ground, and then raises his hand to him when he's up as well. So it's like, and he get the same punishment, like Carter-Vickers get the same punishment as Chris Kane did, because you even had like that fucking Craig Bryson, he was having a wee push as well, and I know he get booked in the game, but it wasn't for that sort of event. I thought it was another shambolic display, but at the same time I thought it sort of gave Celtic a wee bit of lift. It got the crowd up, and about 5 minutes later, Kyogo wins the penalty. So, as I say, as much as it was ineffective, he did still contribute. And I won the penalty, put away really nicely by Juranovic, who I thought had a good game as well. And just glad to be back. Like, it's these comfortable wins, like 3 wins against Motherwell, Aberdeen and St Johnstone. It was, like I say, it was what we were missing last season. So, it's good to see. I'd give a shout out to Starfelt as well. I thought it was his best game. Somebody spoke about a lot, but I thought he was really assured, and especially the first half, I thought he had sort of 2 sort of last ditch tackles that were really good. And we were asked at our pubcast at Malone's on Saturday what Starfelt's strength is, like if you were to identify one, and to be frank and honest, we struggled to point out one. But I think the more I see him, I think that might be just because he's pretty decent in most aspects of the area, the areas of defending, whereas you've had guys like Julian or Ayer who you can pinpoint, oh, he's great at bringing the ball out, or he's great at set pieces. Like, I thought he was really assured and done himself. I thought the crowd really responded well to Starfelt on Saturday as well. But Tony, just as much as a comfortable victory as we could have hoped for.
I completely agree with what you're saying. I mean, I'm shite myself when it was only 1-0 and you start to feel if they draw, if they score. And I'm glad you brought up the ref. I don't understand why we've still never released a statement complaining about one of these idiots. And because they're symbolic referees and they're just so bad. They're completely incompetent, and I feel as though we're talking about them weekly. I think we done well to overcome it. We got the penalty. I was shocked we actually got it. They should have had several more bookings. I think they finished maybe with 4 or 5. But overall, I would agree. It was just, I thought Mikey Johnson again looks very lively. If he can stay fit, then again, it's somebody else that Ange can use to change the dynamic of games. So happy with that. Andy, what was your thoughts on the performance? So overall, a good win.
It was definitely a good win. I mean, I said before, and we all said, like, it was always going to be a tough game, but I know you said you were worried at 1-0, Tony, which I do understand that, but I wasn't really at any point during that game. Usually I would be, but they had no interest whatsoever in coming up the park. And it just felt during the game as if they're just not going to score. They've not really got that about them, which is odd for St Johnstone. Like, they defended in numbers, and that's probably played a sort of bigger part, particularly and obviously Furuhashi not having as much impact. Listen, he's never gone away when he was out wide, but I don't think he wasn't signed to play there. And again, it's not going to be somebody we'll see him every single week, but I think the way that they played obviously nullified a lot of his threat in terms of him trying to run in behind and things like that. But it was very much what I expected for them. I probably, in a defensive sense, like they were always going to do that, but they came forward a lot less than I usually see St Johnstone. I don't know why that was. If maybe missing O'Halloran or Rooney or whatever, but they really didn't offer as much going forward as they used to. Again, that might be to do with losing Ali McCann. Can I get his name there? It might be to do with losing him. I don't know, but I just didn't feel at any point. I wasn't really worried or stressing out about them scoring any goals. I think Dan Spawn with Starfelt, I thought that was his best game in a Celtic jersey. I thought he was really good against Ferencváros, barring that one wee moment against him at the end. And again, I thought he's came on leaps and bounds for sort of shaky performance we first seen out of him, and I think he's got better as the weeks have gone on. And again, that partnership with Carter Vickers is massively improving. Juranovic for me is exactly what you get when you sign a Croatian international. There was one point. His touch to bring the ball out there was just fucking phenomenal, and if he's got so much going for him as a right back, and you can see why he's the type of full back that Ange would like, because he is, while he's a good defender, and he's obviously got that side of his game. He's effective on the ball. He's good in the ball. He's confident in the ball. He wants to get forward. He wants to make things happen. And it was a very, very, very good performance for him. And I'm buzzing that he's obviously back fit, hoping to get him into obviously his more natural position at right back as soon as possible once we've got the left back situation sorted. But I thought it was good performance. It was one of the games that they make it difficult for you, and you've got to work hard to get the result. Jota again looked a threat at times, perhaps similar to the Furuhashi situation, a bit quieter. Didn't obviously get a goal that you would have liked to see for him, but I was happy, Tony. It was a good performance, and again, Mikey Johnston's somebody who I think has benefited not only for Ange obviously coming in, but I actually think he's benefited for Jota. It seems as if Johnston's just got that sort of fearlessness about him now. He wants to get forward. He wants to take people on, whereas that had fell out his game a wee bit before his injury. So I think it's a bit between Jota being there and Ange. You're starting to see that in Johnston, and that'll only help him because that boy had bags and bags of potential, and obviously was unfortunate with injuries, and he's been out for quite a while. And them being there's only going to again make him a better football player, and hopefully we can see more and more of that. And that's what you'll get. There'll be times where we need to, like with him with Abada, rest him. The same will happen for Jota, and hopefully Johnston can sort of make that position and make a claim for the place. But no, I was happy with it, Tony. It was tough performance. We got there, we got the result, and got the 3 points in the bag. We move on to the next game.
I think at the end of the game, I was delighted. I thought it was going to be quite tricky, but we had enough to beat them in the end. I mean, the next game we've got, Danny, is Hibs away, and in the league we've been well below par at Easter Road for a long time. There's a real feeling and importance getting into this game. It feels as though it's a must-win. It's a kind of, I don't know, it's one of the games where if we win, it could be a kind of statement one, I think. Before Rangers obviously need to play kind of more away games. This is your last big difficult away game for a period of time, and I'd just love to get the win. I think it's going to be a tricky game. I know that the Hibs aren't in the best of form, but it's still going to be a difficult game, I think.
It will be. I mean, Hibs have lost 3 straight, so they're probably due a win. They'll be due a big performance at home against Celtic, and it'll be another tough game for us, but we've won the last 2 away games. The one at Motherwell was really, really good, and I think that we can do it again. I think this team's turned a corner now. They might go and drop points on Wednesday night, and that'll be what I'm saying round, but I think you can definitely see over the last couple of games is they've turned a corner away from that bad form, and they look like a more complete team now, and you're actually happy to see them kind of stifle teams and win 2-0 and kind of just get a job done. And they've done that at Motherwell. They've done it at Saturday, and I think Hibs will come out. I think Hibs need to come out. They're in bad form. They need something to spark their season again, and hopefully that plays into our hands and we can get in about them. I think some of the points you've made about the game on Saturday are really good. I just don't agree, and I was never worried for a second. I must admit, never crossed my mind. I thought the team defended really well, and I think this is about the 4th game in a row where we've said, by the way, that was Starfelt's best game. So maybe he's just found a bit of form, and now that he's settled in. So it's a good time. It's a good time to be a Celtic fan, and I must admit, same as you, Tony, I can't believe Carter Vickers get booked for that on Saturday. I mean, that's just like a disgrace. Like, they're not even hiding it now, and it's, you know, you don't want to be that paranoid Celtic, but if you look at your games this season, it's like a fucking disgrace. Like, how many Celtic players have been booked? And you could say, actually, that was a booking, or, right, fair enough, that's justified. I mean, I would say probably less than 20% of the actual bookings. It's some of the bookings we get just to even things up are just fucking crazy. And that one on Saturday was a joke. But hopefully, the way they've been playing now, the refs are not really much an issue, and we can keep that going on to which is a big game. You know, Hibs is one of the kind of, it's Hibs, Aberdeen and Rangers, you know what I mean? They're the kind of 3 big away games that you look at in the calendar. you're quite right, Tony. We've not played well at Easter Road in a long time. I think we've only won there once, and that was when Neil Lennon came back for the interimship. In the Scottish Cup, we've not won there in the league since 2014, so going to be very, very tough. But of course, just a wee moment to Celtic at Easter Road will be a special place in our heart, because that's where 10 Games Kennedy completed its course to victory last year.
Absolutely, as much as they're probably due a win, we're due a win at Easter Road, and I think if we can get that, irrespective of what happens in the other games, I think it would give you real belief that you can challenge for the title. If we don't win, then you're definitely going to be struggling, because we're already 4 points behind. I would assume Rangers will beat Aberdeen. Aberdeen are absolutely hopeless against Rangers usually, so I can't imagine they'll put up much of a fight. But I think that's what Anne says. It's just a case of taking care of ourselves and just keep going forward and taking that a game at a time. There's a lot of fixtures coming up. I think all you can do is look forward to it, but it's going to be a tough game. Last time you were at Easter Road, your team won, Danny, but it wasn't Celtic.
I can't. What game we talking about? I can't mind.
Kelly v Hearts.
I was
What am I talking about? That's
fucking
Tynecastle.
wrong side Edinburgh.
That was. It's funny because I've moved recently and I'm quite close to Easter Road. I'll be hanging about looking for a ticket on Wednesday, but no, that was very, very profitable day visits to Tynecastle with Kilmarnock, but not as profitable as 10 Game Kennedy completing its natural costly victory last year, which is a game at Rios, a game, although it was the most uneventful, boring pish, not in each straw, that completely summed up last season. It was one that we'll never forget.
I don't think I watched that game, thinking back. Darren, obviously Easter Road has been a country place to go to. Last year we got a 2 each draw and then obviously a 0-0 as well. And in previous seasons, Rodgers struggled there. He got beat a couple of times. Are you confident we'll win on Wednesday?
I'm actually, Tony. I think there's a lot made about the Easter Road sort of form, and it's the same with places like Livingston as well. I think it's just been a case of Celtic have been poor on the day. I don't think Hibs are much to fear these days. I think the last few seasons have been a lot better than what they are now. I don't really rate Jack Ross much, and I think any sort of capable Celtic team should be going there and winning. And like, I know Celtic have obviously won there since 2014, I believe it was, under a manager who shouldn't be mentioned on this podcast anywhere for the sake of the pod. But the thing is, I'm just looking back at the head-to-heads, and like, Hibs haven't beat us at Easter Road since 2018, and like, so as much as we've struggled there, we've not really lost many. I know we've had, like, I think it was we've had games where we've thrown it away. We've had games where I think the week before we lost the unbeaten run under Rodgers, we scored in the last minute to get an equaliser. So it is a different type of game. But
we were 2-0 up in that game. We made 3-2 each. And then last year, obviously, we were 2 down and we equalised.
Right, aye. It's, I don't know. It is a place we should be winning. Like I say, the most SPL grounds, we shouldn't really have any excuses. I don't really believe much into these sort of records. It's a tough place to go. It shouldn't be this Celtic team on paper every day of the week should be going to Easter Road or whenever they play Hibs, whether it's Celtic Park, Easter Road, Hampden, wherever. Celtic should be fully confident in getting the job done, and I believe they will. I think we're in a good place. Hibs are struggling at the moment. I know they'll be looking to have a point to prove, but the last game they had at Easter Road was Dundee United, who took 3 off them without response, and then they played an Aberdeen team who were on the verge of their worst run in their history and couldn't even manage a shot on target against them at Pittodrie at the weekend. So I don't think Celtic can have any excuses. The squad's coming back well. As I mentioned, you've got guys like Mikey Johnston and Giacomakis who are coming in from the cold and suddenly having a bit more of an impact than they've had in previous weeks. So great to have them back. I think it's one of the ones, as long as Celtic get the first goal, I think that we will win comfortably. But aye, it's like with me, if the Dundee United game, I was personally, I'll happily admit that I was worried about where this team was going, because obviously we had Fir Park, Pittodrie, St Johnstone at home and Easter Road. So if we can just sort of get through that game on Wednesday and win, and then of course you've got the Livingston game at home on Saturday, but to come through that period of 4 games with maximum points in the league, I think it would be massive for this team in terms of really gaining momentum. I know we've already got a bit of momentum with the 3 league wins and the Ferencvaros game as well. But to go and win 3 out of 4 games in the league, and at the start of the season, they're the type of games you would have worried about places like Pittodrie, Fir Park and Easter Road. So if in this short space of time, Celtic can go there and win on the grounds, I think it would just be a massive statement from them.
I'm actually a bit worried about Easter Road, but you've made me a bit more relaxed now. You've told me how badly they're struggling, but I still think it'll be a difficult game. But I think it's, as I say, after this game we'll have been to Tynecastle, Pittodrie, Ibrox, Easter Road and the Tony Macaroni, which is probably the 5 most difficult away games for us anyway. So if we can come out of that with another win, that would be 3 big away victories in a row. Well, that's kind of more like it. If you want to be winning titles and challenging and taking into the split, etc., then that's what we need to do. So I'm looking forward.
Tony, see when you rhymed off the away games there, how the fuck did they get away with that? The authorities, like what kind of computer comes up with that?
It's a random supercomputer, Danny, of course.
Is it the same supercomputer that predicted the Czechs would win the Euros? That's just, how do they get away with that, man?
Well, I knew we would be at Ibrox when about 3 or 4 games. I mind saying that at the time. We'll be at Ibrox early, and I think it was the 4th game in. We were unlucky, but no. But I think if we win, and then obviously Rangers need to go to these away places. You see them yesterday. Obviously they won, but they were behind, and I heard they'd kind of struggle for 20 minutes. But you always expect them to beat the likes of St Mirren, but I think what we need to do is just keep winning, and if they drop points, and try and capitalise on it and put some severe pressure on them. Andy, what you think going to Easter Road?
Again, I'm not massively worried about Hibs. I think, don't get me wrong, I think it'll be a tough game. It'll be likely similar to St Johnstone in terms of when we win. If we win, I think it'll be a sort of 2-0 type game. I reckon they'll be similar. A lot of teams will just look to sort of try and nullify the threats that we bring now, particularly given that we've obviously got a lot of players back for injury, and that we really have got goals out of the park. We sort of Kyogo and Abada and Turnbull and Rogic and Jota. Teams are just looking to sort of nullify that. The only thing I think will be different will be Hibs will likely look to come out a wee bit more, and obviously use their attacking threats like Boyle and Nisbet. But it's not a game I'm massively worried about, to be honest. As has been mentioned, they've lost their last 3 games in the trot. Dundee United stuck 3 by them. Again, teams always sort of try and raise performance levels when they play Celtic. It's par for the course, but they're not a team that I think we should really be too worried about. And I think Darren's right when he talks about there's no any sort of hoodoo rating or big things to worry about going to Easter Road. It's to be treated like anything else. I think there's been a lot made of when we went to obviously Pittodrie to play Aberdeen. We went up there, dug it out, won the game. Jota goes the winner. Then again, Motherwell who've had obviously a really strong start to the season so far. All things considered, again, went there, won the game. So I think it'll be very much in the mould of them. I don't think we're really going to go and batter them, but I fancy us be sort of 2-0, 2-1. That tight goal margin. I think it'll be tight in the sense that there'll not be a lot of goals to separate the 2 teams, but I don't think there should be anything for us to worry about, and I don't really envisage that happening during the game. I think we'll just have too much for them, and for me, as I've said before, we just look to be getting better and better. And players, like you're starting to see the centre halves now form a partnership. I mean, that's what 3 games in the trot, we've not conceded a goal. When a lot's been made about the defence, and there's obviously been changes at left back and things like that. Like, they 2 centre halves, and particularly Joe Hart as well, they're all starting to form a partnership, starting to get stronger, and for me, that's going to be massive for games like this, and that's the reason why I'm confident getting it.
I'm sure I'd do it as well, just to touch on the defensive partnership. That we have the best defensive record in the league. I think as joint with Dundee United, we've only conceded 6 goals. They've conceded 6 as well. So I don't think that. I think the defence is obviously improving, and hence we've had the 3 clean sheets in a row. Hopefully the same on Wednesday, and hopefully we can get a couple of goals. But for me, I don't know about you, Dan, but the team for me would be, I would maybe start Mikey Johnston on the right, have Kyogo down the middle, and then Jota left, and then probably would have Turnbull, Rogic, McGregor. I would put Bolingoli at left back. I don't think we should be playing a Croatian right back at left back to accommodate Anthony Ralston, who I think is quite a poor player. I think his crossing at times is absolutely ridiculous. Same way Abad is.
Tony, see just on that, do you think there's any hope for Bolly? I think he's done now. I think he was just there because he was the only left back left in the building.
I think there is. I'm just assuming he was injured, and that's how he never made the squad for the St Johnstone game. Well, he's played against Motherwell. He was okay. So he played against Livingston as well. I was thinking he would come back into the fold. Was he maybe just completely dropped? I'm not sure.
I've not heard anything, but I just thought when he wasn't even on the bench, like perhaps there was an injury mentioned. But I watched Andrew's press conference and didn't hear anything about it. I just think it pretty much signalled the end for him. But I could be misreading that.
I think we're really in a position to be binning left backs, unfortunately. But no, if I would play him, and I'd play Vickers and Starfelt, and then Juranovic right back and Joe Hart and goals. And as you're saying, we should have enough to beat Hibs. And then if you're struggling, you've got the likes of Giamakis off the bench. You would have Abada off the bench. People that can obviously change a game. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm just don't really know what's going on with the Sky. I've never known this season and last season so many away games not to be televised. We need to pay these. Obviously, well, if you're paying for them, or you need to try and find a stream to watch. I just find it bizarre that they wouldn't want to televise.
The Sky deals are exclusive. They're not even showing games. This is the second round of fixture in 3 match weeks that they're not showing any games. But of course, that was the best deal that the powers that be could have got.
Another share of incompetent assholes. Anyway, let's go to predictions. Danny, what you saying? What's your prediction?
I think it'll be a tight game. Like I kind of veering towards where Andy was going, where it'd be tight and we get that kind of important first goal and kick on for there. But I think it might be 2-1. I think Kyogo will score, and then the Kent variant Cliver will come off the bench and score a winner.
Darren?
I think it's going to be the opposite of close. I think Celtic are going to win 5-1. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling we're going to turn up and absolutely. But I'm telling you, we're going to.
The road this side of
I'm
the
telling
Obama
you,
administration.
We are the best team in the country, and we are going to go there and prove a point.
This is getting fucking clipped.
Fuck. Well, Kerry fails Stevie Souness every year. This is coming. Wednesday night, I'm telling you. Tell you what, when we win 5-1 on Wednesday, we'll host a space to celebrate it, and we'll. But no, Celtic are going to blow them away. You're going to have. I think it'll be generally the same team. I think Juranovic will continue at left back. Ralston will play at right back. I wasn't overly impressed with him on Saturday, but I mean, a few weeks ago he fired the ball at 90 mile an hour at a jetty and nearly took his head off. So he's sort of learning because he only fired that one at Giacomakis at 60 mile an hour, and thankfully he was able to turn it in this time. So I think he'll continue there. I don't know. Like I'd like to think the midfield won't change because I don't think it's a game that you need beat on. So I'd go McGregor, Rogic, Turnbull. I'm actually with. I can't mind what one of you says about, but I'd play Mikey Johnson from the start and go with Johnston, Jota, and Kyogo. It's Kyogo through the middle for me, and I think he will get hat-trick, his first away hat-trick in Celtic colours, and I think Jota and Mikey Johnston will get the other two, but I'm telling you, it's going to be an absolute doing for Hibs on Wednesday.
Fortunately, we can't drug test.
Right, okay, fair enough. You're confident. I guess sometimes you get that. You just get a feeling it's all going to click. Andy, have you get any advance in 5-1?
I don't even know. I don't know what he's got at for, but hope he's right. I just, as I was saying earlier, I reckon it'll be tight in terms of the score line, but it'll be a comfortable performance all round. I'm going to go for 2-0. Another clean sheet. Again, it's positive, assured performance. Mikey Johnston, I suppose there's an argument for him to start. I think Abada was obviously rested, so I reckon we'll revert to Kyogo, Jota and Abada. If Johnston does play, it would be for Abada, but I would be swapping Jota to go out on the right and Johnston out on the left. Mikey Johnston isn't as effective out on the right, and obviously Jota is. We've seen that already when Jota goes out there. He is still very confident and very, very similar, and I think his weak foot's better than Johnston's is, to be honest. But I would keep that, obviously, more or less for the same front three that's played the majority of this season. I would probably agree as well. I want to see Juranovic at right back. Anthony Ralston, again, despite an assist, he's just no good enough for the rest of his game. He's often just fucking no happy unless he's running into somebody or battering the ball as hard as he possibly can. I think quite a lot of play sort of falters and falls down at him, particularly when we're trying to build up and build out. Not against him, he's just no technically good enough for what he's been asked to do. And I think Juranovic is, obviously. So I'd like to see him go there and then get an actual left back in at left back. But other than that, I think the team's midfield and obviously centre halves and things are going to stay the exact way they have been and as they should. But we'll go for 2-0, Tony, and I think he'll go back in the score sheet as well. And we'll go for McGregor to get the other one. I think he's been due a goal.
I'll go for 5-0. No, I'll go for 1-0. I think Kyogo will get as the winner. I think it'll be a country game. I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I hope it is. I think it's going to be a difficult game, but I think we'll win it 1-0. And I'm looking forward to it. So 1-0. Anybody get anything else to add?
Just to say, obviously, thank you to everybody who came along to Malone's on Saturday before the game. We were obviously hosting a pre-match podcast in there. Thought it went really well. Obviously, it was myself, Darren, and Tony who hosted it. Lot of people in here. A lot of people just obviously aligned before the game for a pint and a roll and bacon. The same again will be happening prior to the game on Saturday, which obviously will likely be on before that, just to talk about the game and obviously give a review of the Hibs game and then a preview towards the weekend. But Tony enjoyed it, thought it went really well, and it looks to be a regular fixture for Saturdays at 3 o'clock that we'll be in Malone's beforehand, getting pissed and talking shite.
It's a bit of fun, innit? People obviously were asking us a few questions. Our favourite manager came up. And just different things about players, and then we were just talking about the game. I think they're trying to organise a bit of live music as well, just to kind of break it up. So, if you come 11 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock, you get a free bacon roll, which is handy, and a couple of pints before the game. And if you want any autographs or signed taps, and they're only £100. So, if you want to come along and try and attack us for slagging Neil Lennon, then feel free as well. So Malone, Sucky Hall Lane, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. pre-match podcast.
Didn't know what time it was. said. Then the loud sound, it seemed to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of fade. That wasn't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children use it, let the children lose it, let all the children boogie. So I picked on you. Hey, that's far out. Yeah, you heard him too. Switch on your TV, you may pick him up on channel 2. Look out your window, you can see his light. If we can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa, or he'll get us locked up in fright. There's a starman